Top 10 most beautiful countries to visit in Africa. Hidden wonders you need to see before everyone else. They say the world's most beautiful places are already discovered, but they clearly haven't been paying attention to Africa. Because while everyone's crowding beaches in Bali and chasing sunsets in Santorini, there's an entire continent quietly showing off, without the selfie sticks, overpriced hotels, or tourist traps. Here's the truth most travelers miss. Africa isn't just one big safari. It's mountain peaks that kiss the clouds, ancient cities carved from stone, deserts that blush at sunrise, and coastlines that look photoshopped. And yet, it's still treated like the world's best-kept secret, hidden in plain sight. Tourism in Africa is growing faster than anywhere else on the planet, yet most visitors only see a tiny slice of what it offers. That's like going to a 5-star buffet and stopping at the breadbasket. So today, we're fixing that. Because this isn't just about travel. It's about discovery. About finding the places where nature still rules, culture runs deep, and beauty doesn't need filters. Welcome to mr.globetv, where we uncover the world's smartest, most breathtaking destinations before everyone else does. If you're ready to see the side of Africa that travel magazines keep missing, go ahead. Hit that like button, subscribe, and watch till the end. Trust me, by the time we reach number 1, you'll be checking flight prices. Number 10. Namibia. If Earth ever hosted an art exhibit, Namibia would be the gallery. It's the kind of place where nature doesn't just paint, it experiments. The sand dunes of Sossusvlei don't stop at beige, they shift through a palette of red, orange, and gold, like the desert's auditioning for a sunset commercial. And when the sun hits just right, the entire landscape glows, not metaphorically but literally. Namibia's beauty is the quiet kind. No traffic, no crowds, just you, the wind, and enough horizon to make your GPS nervous. It's one of the most sparsely populated countries in the world, meaning you can drive for hours and see more oryx than people. For travelers burned out on tourist traps, this is paradise in minimalist form, where silence is the soundtrack and stars steal the spotlight at night. Etosha National Park flips the script on safari expectations. Instead of chasing animals through thick jungle, you sit near ghostly white salt pans, and the wildlife comes to you. Zebras, elephants, and even rhinos, casually wandering across the mirage-like plains. And then there's the Skeleton Coast, where shipwrecks rust beautifully into the sand, like history's version of modern art. Namibia also stands out for its safety, good roads, and commitment to conservation. Nearly half its land is under some form of environmental protection. That's not just impressive for Africa. It's impressive, period. Plus, it's tailor-made for self-drivers. Wide-open highways, minimal traffic, and scenery so unreal you'll pull over every 10 minutes just to check your camera settings. In short, Namibia feels like a dream you forgot you had. One where nature runs wild, time slows down, and every photo looks professionally edited straight out of the camera. Number 9. Madagascar. Madagascar isn't just another island. It's an entire world that somehow got left off the main menu of global tourism. Floating off Africa's southeast coast, it's so unique that nearly 90% of its wildlife exists nowhere else on Earth. If evolution had a playground, this would be it. Lemurs leap through ancient forests, chameleons pull off color changes that could shame a mood ring, and the iconic baobab trees look like something straight out of a fantasy novel. But here's the twist. Madagascar's beauty isn't loud, it whispers. The beaches aren't lined with 5-star resorts. They're edged with fishing boats and coral lagoons, so clear you can count the sand grains beneath your feet. The island's crown jewel, the Avenue of the Baobabs, feels like walking through nature's cathedral. Massive trunks stretching skyward like pillars that have seen civilizations rise and fall. When the sun sets, those shadows turn gold, and suddenly, every smartphone becomes a professional camera. If you're into adventure, Madagascar doesn't disappoint. You can hike through the alien landscapes of Tsingy de Bemaraha, a UNESCO World Heritage Site filled with razor-sharp limestone spires, or explore rainforests so dense they make GPS signals give up in frustration. Then cool off on the beaches of Nosy Be or Ile Sainte-Marie, where whale watching replaces traffic jams and the soundtrack is pure ocean. And while it's still developing in parts, power cuts, patchy roads, and island time come standard, that's part of its charm. It's travel the way it used to be, raw, rewarding, and refreshingly real. You don't just visit Madagascar, you earn it. One bumpy road, one jungle trail, one wide-eyed lemur stare at a time. It's safe, affordable, and still under the radar, which means you get bragging rights before the travel influencers show up. So if you've been craving a destination that's wild, weird, and wonderful in equal measure, Madagascar delivers. Because here, nature doesn't need filters, it just needs a little appreciation. Number 8. Rwanda. Rwanda has mastered the art of quiet transformation. Once defined by its painful past, it's now one of the cleanest, safest, and most forward-thinking nations on the continent. Step into Kigali, the capital, and you'll wonder if your GPS accidentally rerouted you to a Scandinavian city with better coffee. Streets are spotless, traffic actually obeys rules, and plastic bags have been banned nationwide for over a decade. In other words, Rwanda got serious about the future, while the rest of the world was still debating recycling bins. Beyond the city, Rwanda's landscape is a love letter to nature. Rolling emerald hills ripple across the horizon, earning it the nickname, the Land of 1,000 Hills. Every corner looks like it was hand-curated by a landscape designer with a thing for symmetry. And then there's the misty majesty of Volcanoes National Park, home to the last remaining mountain gorillas on Earth. Getting there isn't easy. You'll hike through dense jungle, mud, and altitude, but when a 400-pound silverback locks eyes with you, it's one of those "this just changed me" moments. But Rwanda isn't just about gorillas and greenery. Lake Kivu offers calm, cobalt waters framed by palm trees and fishing villages, while Nyungwe Forest, one of Africa's oldest rainforests, hums with colobus monkeys, orchids, and hiking trails that feel like you're walking through a living postcard. The best part? You can experience all this without the crowds you'll find in more hyped-up destinations. What makes Rwanda so special, though, is its story. In just 3 decades, it's gone from tragedy to triumph, rebuilding itself through unity, innovation, and education. Today, it's one of Africa's fastest-growing economies, with booming ecotourism and a focus on sustainability that puts larger nations to shame. Rwanda proves beauty isn't just about landscapes. It's about resilience. It's the rare place where nature, culture, and progress walk hand in hand. So if you've been searching for a destination that feels both peaceful and powerful, Rwanda deserves a spot on your list. It's clean, calm, and quietly confident, like the friend who doesn't talk much but somehow wins every argument. Number 7. Mozambique. Mozambique is the kind of place that makes you question how something so stunning can stay so secret. Stretching along over 1,500 miles of Indian Ocean coastline, it's Africa's version of a tropical daydream, only without the Instagram crowds. This is where turquoise waters kiss endless white beaches, coral reefs shimmer like underwater rainbows, and the biggest decision of the day is whether to snorkel, sail, or order another coconut. The Bazaruto and Carimbas archipelagos are Mozambique's crown jewels, a collection of islands so pristine they could easily stand toe-to-toe with the Maldives. Think powdery sands, crystal lagoons, and marine life that treats divers like old friends. Whale sharks, manta rays, dolphins, and sea turtles glide through the reefs as if performing for the few lucky travelers who show up. The difference? In Mozambique, you'll pay a fraction of the price, and probably have the beach to yourself. But this isn't just a postcard destination, it's a cultural mosaic. Centuries of Portuguese influence left behind cobblestone towns, pastel buildings, and a love affair with flavor. In Maputo, the capital, colonial architecture meets Afro-jazz rhythms, and street markets serve up peri-peri prawns so good they could start diplomatic negotiations. Add in coconut rice, cassava leaves, and spicy seafood stews, and you've got a culinary scene that's equal parts Europe, Africa, and ocean breeze. Outside the cities, the real magic happens in the small coastal villages, places where life runs on tide schedules, and the locals greet you with smiles as warm as the Indian Ocean. It's one of the few places left where tourism still feels personal, not packaged. Of course, it's not without its quirks. Infrastructure can be a little rough around the edges, road trips come with bonus adventures, and Wi-Fi occasionally takes personal days. But that's part of Mozambique's charm. It's authentic, unfiltered, and gloriously unplugged. The best part? Hardly anyone's talking about it. For now, it remains one of Africa's last true travel secrets. a paradise you can still explore before the luxury chains and influencers catch on. Mozambique isn't just a beach destination, it's an experience. Raw, radiant, and refreshingly real. Go for the coral islands, stay for the peace, and leave wondering why everyone else is still queuing for Bali. Number 6. Zambia. Zambia is where nature doesn't just speak, it roars. And it starts with Victoria Falls, the legendary Mosi Oatunya, which translates to the smoke that thunders. You can hear it long before you see it, a deep echoing rumble that grows into a wall of mist and light as 500 million liters of water plunge into the Zambezi Gorge every single minute. It's not just a waterfall, it's a sensory event, the kind that makes you feel small, awestruck, and slightly wet all at once. But Zambia is more than its headline act. The country is a safari lover's dream, wild, unspoiled, and refreshingly uncrowded. While neighboring destinations like Kenya and Tanzania often feel like wildlife red carpets, Zambia gives you nature in its raw, unfiltered form. In South Luangwa National Park, you'll find leopards lounging in trees, elephants wandering through camp, and sunsets so dramatic they look photoshopped. It's also where the concept of the walking safari was born. Because apparently, some people looked at lions and thought, let's try this on foot. Then there's Livingstone, a small city that hums with adventure. You can bungee jump from the Victoria Falls Bridge, 364 feet of pure what was I thinking energy, or whitewater raft the Zambezi, one of the most thrilling rivers on the planet. If you prefer your adrenaline with a side of elegance, hop on a sunset cruise instead. Watching hippos yawn in slow motion while the sky turns molten orange is one of life's finer contradictions: danger, peace, and beauty, all in one view. What makes Zambia special is its balance. It's adventurous without being chaotic, wild but welcoming. English is widely spoken, the people are warm, and the prices are, brace yourself, actually reasonable. Compared to other African safari destinations, Zambia gives you luxury lodge experiences at half the cost, and you won't have to jostle with a dozen safari trucks for the perfect lion shot. This is the kind of place where you can still feel like an explorer, not a tourist. Where nature still runs the show and humans are just respectful guests. It's raw Africa, pure and proud, but with enough comfort to make you stay longer than you planned. Zambia is proof that you don't need crowds to witness greatness. Just curiosity and a sense of adventure. Number 5. Tanzania. Tanzania isn't just a destination, it's a full-blown experience that hits every note on Africa's symphony of beauty. It's the kind of place where you could wake up watching lions stretch in the Serengeti, spend the afternoon bargaining for spices in Zanzibar, and fall asleep under the shadow of Mount Kilimanjaro, Africa's tallest and most majestic peak. Diversity isn't a buzzword here, it's the country's entire personality. Start with the Serengeti, the heartbeat of Africa's safari scene and home to the Great Migration, one of the most spectacular wildlife events on Earth. Every year, over 1 million wildebeest and several thousand zebras who apparently didn't get the memo thunder across the plains in search of greener pastures. It's dusty, primal, and humbling. Nature's version of rush hour, minus the honking. If the plains are Africa's stage, Kilimanjaro is its spotlight. Towering at 19,341 feet, it's not just the tallest mountain in Africa, it's the tallest freestanding mountain in the world. The best part? You don't need to be an elite climber to conquer it. Kilimanjaro is the kind of challenge that rewards patience over power. Every hiker learns the local phrase, pole pole, meaning slowly, slowly. It's less of a hiking tip and more of a Tanzanian life philosophy. And then there's Zanzibar, a tropical dream floating just off the coast, with turquoise waters, white sand beaches, and the scent of clove and cinnamon wafting through the air. It's where history and hedonism meet. The old stone alleys whisper tales of sultans and spice traders, while the beachfront resorts remind you that paradise can come with Wi-Fi and cocktails. Tanzania also nails the cultural balance. It's laid back without being lazy, wild without being reckless. Locals greet you with genuine smiles and the kind of calm that makes you reconsider your life choices back home. Even the wildlife seems friendlier here. Elephants pause thoughtfully before crossing your path, and giraffes look like they're posing for your camera. And here's the underrated gem. It's surprisingly affordable compared to its fame. Whether you're camping under the stars or staying in a luxury lodge with infinity pools overlooking the savannah, Tanzania proves that world-class adventure doesn't have to come with billionaire billing. This country is Africa at its most iconic, where the word safari was born and where nature still calls the shots. So, if your idea of beauty includes raw wilderness, calm beaches, and a culture that tells you to slow down and enjoy the ride, Tanzania is your cue to breathe deeply and go pole. Number 4. Ethiopia. Ethiopia isn't just old, it's ancient. This is a country that doesn't measure history in centuries, but in millennia. While much of the world was still figuring out how to build huts, Ethiopia was building kingdoms. From the legendary Queen of Sheba to the rock-hewn churches of Lalibela, this land has been making headlines since before newspapers existed. It's not just one of Africa's oldest civilizations, it's one of the world's. Start with Lalibela, where 11 medieval churches were carved directly into the ground, out of solid rock. They're not built on the earth, they're built into it. These 12th century masterpieces are still in use today, making them less like ruins and more like portals to another era. You half expect to bump into a monk with Wi-Fi explaining the Book of Enoch. And while Europe brags about its cathedrals, Ethiopia's reply is simple: ours came pre-installed in the landscape. Then there's the Danakil Depression, one of the most surreal and extreme places on Earth. Sitting more than 400 feet below sea level, it's a kaleidoscope of acid pools, neon salt flats, and volcanic craters that look like Mother Nature's science experiment gone rogue. NASA studies this region to understand what Mars might look like, which basically means Ethiopia has a slice of the red planet on Earth. But it's not all otherworldly landscapes and ancient legends. Ethiopia has a living culture that hums with pride and rhythm. It's the only African country never to be colonized, and you can feel that independence in its air. Locals move with quiet confidence. History isn't something they study, it's something they live. Oh, and let's not forget Ethiopia's greatest gift to humanity: coffee. That daily ritual you cling to at 7 a.m.? You can thank a curious goat herder from Ethiopia, named Kaldi, who supposedly discovered coffee beans after his goats wouldn't stop dancing. Today, Ethiopian coffee ceremonies are a full-blown art form, slow, deliberate, and spiritual. Here, coffee isn't a caffeine fix, it's a cultural handshake. Add to that the breathtaking Simien Mountains, often called the roof of Africa. They're dramatic, jagged peaks where gelada monkeys rule the cliffs, and sunsets look like nature's fireworks. For adventure seekers, it's paradise with altitude. Ethiopia is a paradox in the best way. Ancient yet alive, spiritual yet grounded, tough yet endlessly welcoming. It's not a place you just visit, it's a place that rewires how you see history, culture, and connection. It's Africa's soul laid bare, mysterious, majestic, and unapologetically itself. Number 3. South Africa. If there were ever a place that refused to be defined by a single identity, it's South Africa. This is a country that packs an entire continent's worth of experiences into one passport stamp. You want beaches? Done. Mountains? Absolutely. Wine country, safaris, city skylines, penguins, and deserts? Check. And yes, somehow also yes. It's like the universe decided to put all of Earth's best features into one nation, then gave it great weather just to show off. Let's start with Cape Town, the crown jewel perched between the Atlantic and the slopes of Table Mountain. The city is an artist's dream. Pastel sunsets, turquoise waves, and a giant flat-topped mountain that photobombs every skyline shot. Ride the cable car up to the top, and you'll understand why even locals never get tired of the view. Below, beaches like Clifton and Camps Bay glimmer with energy, where sunbathers, surfers, and the occasional curious penguin from Boulder's Beach share the same shoreline. If your soul craves open roads, the Garden Route is pure freedom on 4 wheels. Stretching along the southern coast, this scenic drive connects charming towns, misty forests, and whale-filled bays, all stitched together with roads so smooth they make you forget what a speed bump feels like. It's a road trip where the journey genuinely competes with the destination. And then there's Kruger National Park, one of Africa's largest and most famous wildlife reserves. Here, traffic jam might mean a family of elephants blocking your path, or a lion taking a nap in the middle of the road. You'll spot all of the big 5: lions, leopards, elephants, rhinos, and buffalo, often before breakfast. The best part, you don't have to be a millionaire to do it. South Africa offers 5-star safari experiences at half the price of other destinations. With the same thrill and none of the crowds, wine lovers rejoice. Just a short drive from Cape Town lies Stellenbosch, a sun-soaked region that feels like someone teleported Tuscany to Africa and made the wine cheaper. The vineyards here are breathtaking, the food is world-class, and the prices are almost suspiciously reasonable. It's one of those places where you start checking flight prices mid-sip. And let's not forget the people. Vibrant, diverse, and endlessly warm. South Africa's nickname, the Rainbow Nation, isn't just poetic, it's literal. 11 official languages, countless cultures, and one shared rhythm of resilience and joy. Despite a history marked by struggle, the country's spirit shines through in its music, its food, and its contagious optimism. South Africa is one of those rare destinations where you can start the day with a sunrise safari, have lunch overlooking vineyards, and end it dancing on a rooftop in Johannesburg. It's bold, beautiful, and full of contrasts that somehow make perfect sense. This is Africa turned up to full volume, wild, sophisticated, and unforgettable. Number 2. Morocco. Morocco is one of those countries that feels like it was handcrafted by storytellers. Every alleyway, spice stall, and sand dune seems to whisper its own tale. It's the kind of place that doesn't just offer experiences, it stages dramas of color, sound, and scent. If travel had a soundtrack, Morocco's would be the rhythmic clatter of markets, the call to prayer echoing through centuries-old walls, and the soft clink of mint tea glasses being refilled. Again and again and again. Start with Marrakesh, a city that's part history, part fever dream. The Medina, a maze of narrow alleys, feels like a living, breathing organism. Every turn hits you with something new. Hand-woven rugs, leather goods, spices stacked like rainbows, and shopkeepers with PhDs in persuasion. By the time you leave, you won't know whether you bought that lamp or it bought you. And yet, amidst the chaos, there's charm. Riads, traditional guest houses, with tranquil courtyards that feel like a world apart. One minute you're dodging mopeds in the souk, and the next, you're sipping mint tea under a lemon tree in complete silence. Head east, and the Sahara Desert unfurls like a golden ocean. The dunes of Merzouga stretch endlessly, their colors shifting from pale peach to deep red as the sun moves. Camel caravans march across the horizon like something out of an ancient fable. And when night falls, the stars stage a performance so bright it makes city skylines look embarrassing. For many travelers, sleeping under the Sahara sky isn't just a bucket list moment, it's a soul reset. Then there's the Atlas Mountains, the rugged backbone of the country. They slice through Morocco like a sleeping giant, offering snow-capped peaks, Berber villages, and winding roads that test both your car and your courage. In winter, you can ski at Ukaïmeden, yes, ski, and by afternoon, be sipping orange juice on a beach in Agadir. Few places on Earth pull off that kind of wardrobe change. And speaking of beaches, Morocco's coastline runs for over 100 miles. From the Atlantic surf towns like Essaouira to the laid-back Mediterranean charm of Al Hoceima. Whether you're into kite surfing, camel rides, or just pretending you're in a movie about finding yourself, the coast delivers. Beyond its beauty, Morocco wins points for practicality. It's affordable, safe, and shockingly accessible, especially for Western travelers. The exchange rate loves you, the food spoils you, hello, tagine and couscous heaven, and the hospitality makes you wonder if welcome was invented here. But Morocco's true magic is in its contrasts. Where ancient Medinas hum beside modern cafes, where chaos and calm coexist like lifelong friends, and where every sense is constantly negotiating between overload and awe. It's exotic without being impossible, chaotic without being unsafe, and so endlessly photogenic you'll delete old pictures just to make room. Number 1. Kenya. Kenya isn't just another travel destination. It's a full-blown love affair with nature, culture, and the kind of beauty that humbles you into silence. It's where lions nap in the golden grass while city skyscrapers rise in the distance. It's where sunrise over the savannah looks like a scene painted directly by God, and the rhythm of life moves to a beat that feels ancient, proud, and alive. If Africa had a heartbeat, it would sound a lot like Kenya. Let's start with the Masai Mara, one of the most iconic landscapes on the planet. Every year, more than 1.5 million wildebeest thunder across its plains during the Great Migration, nature's version of rush hour, but with more dust and drama. This spectacle alone earns Kenya a front-row seat on any traveler's bucket list. And the wildlife? Let's just say, if you come home without seeing the big five, lion, leopard, elephant, rhino, and buffalo, you were probably looking the wrong way. But Kenya isn't just about safaris and sunsets. It's a country that feels balanced, the perfect harmony between wild freedom and modern living. Nairobi, the capital, is often called the city in the sun, and it's got layers. It's urban, energetic, and entrepreneurial. Yet just 15 minutes away is Nairobi National Park, where giraffes and rhinos wander freely against a backdrop of downtown skyscrapers. Where else on earth can you finish a Zoom call and be on a game drive before lunch? Head east and the story shifts entirely. The Kenyan coast is a dazzling mix of white sands, Swahili architecture, and the slow, lyrical pulse of the Indian Ocean. Lamu in particular feels timeless, a car-free island where donkeys are still the main mode of transport and sunsets melt into centuries-old stonework. It's a reminder that not all paradise comes with Wi-Fi. And then there's the people. The warmth of Kenyans isn't a stereotype. It's a lived reality. Whether it's a Maasai elder sharing wisdom by a campfire or a Mombasa fisherman greeting you with a grin wider than the ocean, you'll feel it instantly. That deep, grounded pride in heritage and community. This is a country that doesn't need to shout to impress. It just exists. Gracefully, effortlessly, beautifully. Adventure seekers can climb Mount Kenya, Africa's second highest peak, while others can unwind by Lake Naivasha or the flamingo-dotted Lake Nakuru. The diversity here is staggering. Snow-capped mountains, tropical beaches, rolling savannas, and bustling cities, all within one set of borders. Kenya has mastered the art of balance, modern yet timeless, affordable yet luxurious, wild yet peaceful. It's the kind of place that stays with you long after you've left. In the smell of acacia wood, the sound of distant drums, or that first morning coffee overlooking an endless horizon. And that brings us to the end of our countdown, the top 10 most beautiful countries to visit in Africa. Hidden wonders you need to see before everyone else. From deserts that dream in color to coasts that sparkle like jewels, Africa isn't just a continent. It's a collection of living, breathing masterpieces. Thank you for watching and exploring with me. If this journey sparked your wanderlust, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who needs a little adventure in their life. Until next time, travel far, stay curious, and remember, the world is still full of places that feel like magic. You just have to go find them.